Mom and Dad favored my sister and chose the richest African lion orc for her, while I could only marry a poor, penniless Arctic bear orc. Then the apocalypse hit with extreme heat. The power system collapsed, and even if an African lion orc had money, he couldn't buy cooling, the first to die of heat stroke. But the Arctic bear took me straight to the Arctic to escape the heat, eating chilled watermelon and drinking ice-cold cola. My sister, glowing and ruined by the heat, was brought to the Arctic to escape the heat, and when she saw me being cared for by the Arctic bear, she couldn't accept that I was doing better than her and killed me out of jealousy. Redoing life. Sister chose polar bear orc first, thinking she could revel in the cold as the world ends in heat this time. But she doesn't know. When the heat comes, the glaciers melt, and the Arctic is about to be flooded by a tsunami. This time I choose the polar bear Beastman cold and frost. Just opened my eyes. I heard sister cuddling with our parents, making a choice completely different from last time. I knew sister had also been reborn. Our family's women generations have intermarried with orcs, and in this generation there are only me and my sister as the two girls in the family, while marriage proposals have only come from polar bear orcs and African lion orcs. In the last life, the African lion orcs brought a plane full of African pink diamonds as a betrothal gift, while the polar bear orcs only brought a basket of frozen fish. My sister immediately fell in love with the wealthy African lion and insisted on marrying him. Our parents forced me to marry a polar bear man, saying, "You look uglier than your sister, you're less talented than your sister, and your personality isn't as good as hers. A gold-plated son-in-law like the African lion would naturally belong to your sister, so you're only fit to marry the poor polar bear and fish with him to make a living." After our sisters each got married, our parents immediately followed our eldest sister to Africa, stayed in a large villa, and wore luxury goods. And I alone followed the poor polar bear people back to the Arctic. Even the warm clothes I wore were patched. The end of the world could come very soon, as global climate warming accelerates to the point of scorching people to death. A large number of humans and orcs have been scorched to death, and the Africa where my sister and the others are located is even more severely affected as the first major disaster area. Later, the temperature soared to 60 degrees, the power system collapsed completely, and even Diamond could not buy food or coolness for the African lions. The African lions escorted their sister and parents home with their skins, while the lion himself died of heat on the road, turning into a piece of dried lion meat. Their parents' bodies were blistered with heat, and the sister was even more so, her entire face blistered and ruined. They made a video to ask me for help, and found that the current temperature in the Arctic is only 20 degrees, neither cold nor hot. I actually live in an ice house, eating chilled watermelon and drinking iced cola. I kindly brought them all to the Arctic for summer, and when my sister saw the polar bear adore me as a treasure, she suddenly couldn't stand it. "Clearly you have always been inferior to me in every way since we were young. Why are you allowed to marry someone better than me?" My sister stabbed me to death with a watermelon knife, and before I died I still saw Mom and Dad worry about my sister's hand hurting while gripping the knife. I have already given up on their family. As expected, after rebirth, my parents still favor my sister. Ruju, are you confused? In that Arctic bear tribe, the family is so poor it rings hollow, but the African lion people are different. So many diamonds, all airlifted in by plane. After you marry him, you'll become a wealthy madam. The older sister tried hard to persuade their parents. "You don't understand. In the future world, money is basically useless. The Arctic is humanity's most livable home. Africa is so hot, let Rumu go. Anyway, she's slow-witted like a wooden block. Perhaps she'll burn up in Africa. I mean, life will be prosperous." The parents were still not very willing, but whatever their elder daughter wanted from childhood to adulthood, they would fulfill. My dad looked at me with a stern face. "Since your sister has already chosen the Arctic bear person Lunhan, you should marry the African lion person Yen Lai as well. Remember to be grateful. Someone who is as inferior as you to your sister can have the chance to become a rich wife. In the future you should help your sister more and thank her for giving you a good marriage." Looking at this united family, I sneered inwardly, outwardly humble, afraid they would change their minds. It seems my elder sister doesn't know that with the end of the world and rising temperatures, the glaciers in the Arctic will melt too. Then the impoverished Arctic bear person Ling Han won't even be able to buy a small boat. 2. When we sisters marry off. As with our parents and in the past lives, we obviously have to follow our beloved elder sister. Mom, at my sister's request, sold the house and the car, and exchanged all the savings for all kinds of canned fruit, compressed biscuits, soda, and other supplies. Dad was a bit puzzled. We could keep the house to appreciate in value. Why buy so many useless foods? If we finish them, we can buy more, right? My sister has truly become fearful of the past life and the hunger. Mom and Dad, just listen to me. In the future, their money and house will be worthless paper. Food is the hard currency. It seems that elder sister has prepared sufficiently, just waiting for the apocalypse to come so she can enjoy life beautifully in the Arctic, while I am left to be sun-dried. In the previous life I married off to the Arctic, and we could not bring even a single penny for me. My life in the Arctic with the polar bears led us all the way back to the Arctic, my feet ending up blistered from walking. In this life, it is finally my turn to sit on a private luxury airplane. Elder sister and our parents sent me off onto the plane. Mom and Dad still have a hint of reluctance in their eyes, while elder sister's eyes reveal a gleaming excitement. Mom and Dad, you'd better stay with me. Don't look at my sister's current glory. After a while, she'll probably come to beg me again. Haha. I sit upright in the clouds, watching my elder sister's family growing smaller and smaller. And, with a polar bear man, moving supplies back to the North Pole like 4 little ants, I can't help but smile faintly. My sister doesn't know that in the last life that cold loneliness was just a man who never stayed at home, always saying he went out to fish, but in reality he was fooling around with other female orcs. And I not only have to worry about food, but also deal with a whole bunch of mistresses. After the temperature in the Arctic rose a bit, I tried planting some crops, and only then did I escape the days of starving. My sister and the others saw the watermelon I ate in a past life. I had cultivated it myself, but it couldn't last long. Before my sister and the others were taken away, the glacier was about to melt, and we couldn't afford an escape boat. I brought my sister and the others here because I thought a family should die together. I didn't expect that they only want me to die alone. Then don't blame me for this lifetime. The African lion man Yen Lai, seeing that I had been quiet all along, thoughtfully brought me a glass of fine red wine. Isn't the plane ride a bit uncomfortable for you? Have a little wine and sleep. You'll arrive quickly. Africa is hot. But don't worry, we have money. I'll build you the coolest, most comfortable air-conditioned villa. It's clear that Yen Lai feels somewhat inferior about his hot hometown, but at least he's better than that man Cold Han. Cold Han is cruel and tyrannical, treating his wife's suffering as a matter of course, and he would even hit people. And Yen Lai is different. He is a man who was good to begin with, who in a previous life was willing to lay down his life for his sister. Yet in this life his sister hasn't even deigned to look at him. But it's okay. Money can support a person. In this life I will ensure that kind Yen Lai has a good ending. As soon as I got off the plane on the African continent, I could feel the temperature rising abruptly. The servant of Yen Lai family immediately stepped forward to hold up a sun umbrella and spray cooling mist to soothe the dryness. Madam, just a few more steps and we'll be at our house. Once we go inside, you won't feel so hot. Once inside, even with a servant spraying cooling mist all the way, I was sweating from the heat, let alone Yen Lai. Its body is that of an African lion, fur already thick, though it's usually more heat-resistant. This year's temperatures have indeed been rather strange, and I took separate showers, lay on the comfortable massage chair, sipping iced juice and chatting. I spoke directly. Have you noticed the anomalies this year? The temperatures are much higher than in previous years. 3 thought I was worrying about the air conditioning bill, waved his hand, and ordered the servant to turn on a few more air conditioners. Moo moo, don't worry. This year is hotter than usual. But our family has money. As long as we keep the air conditioner running full blast, the house will be very comfortable. I asked him, what if one day the power system collapses? And there's no air conditioning. How will we spend the summer then? Yan Lai was taken aback for a moment, then thought for a bit and said, then we spend money to hire someone to fix it. Once repaired, it'll be fine. My expression turned grave. What if all the repair people die of heat? What if, at that time, money can't even buy food? Seeing my seriousness, Yan Lai also paid attention. You mean there will be extremely hot weather in the future? Then what do you suggest we do? Humans are smarter than us orcs. So in every generation we must intermarry with humans to keep the population going. Since I have married you as my wife, from now on you can tell me what to do. I was quite satisfied with his babble-like remarks and said, let all the family's money be under my control. Yan Lai nodded crazily. That's natural. As our ancestors said, only by listening to your wife can we make a fortune. Marrying you is like marrying the female master. There's no limit to what luxury you want to buy. I shook my head. What luxury goods? I want to build an ark. With the financial support of the Yanli family, I secretly built an ark of carrier ship scale, designed to withstand 10-level waves, be indestructible, and resist meteor impacts. The workers couldn't understand. In this hot weather, the African continent is almost out of water. And this human lady wants to build a ship, truly money to burn with nowhere to spend it. Not only did I build the ark, but I also planned areas on the ark for food planting, meat production, solar and wind energy systems, seawater purification, satellite systems, and self-defense systems. Yan Lai couldn't help sighing. Other orc families, human wives all buy luxury goods and build big villas. My wife is different from others. When mentioning other orc families, I asked him whether there were those rich and cruel orcs who commit evil. Yan Lai said with a look of disgust, that would be the hyena family. I hate their shameless arrogance the most. Yet their family is very good at amassing wealth. They are the second richest family in Africa besides us lion folk. I nodded. All right, then borrow money from them. The more, the better. Interest isn't a problem. After all, I don't intend to repay. We can use our territory as collateral. People laughed at me once the public found out. Now in such heat of summer, who would be willing to brave the scorching sun to Africa? The wife of the Africa Lion Beastman clan is truly a spendthrift. After learning about it, elder sister publicly spoke in patched warm clothes. Roko has always been a stubborn blockhead by nature. Even if she becomes a wife of a rich family, she won't enjoy life. In the heat, why build a big iron box? It would either burn people to death or make them laugh to death. Ha ha ha. I pay no heed to these taunts. Those who are willing to come to me I will protect in the apocalypse. And those who are not willing can only say it is fate. In the end, apart from the more than 100 members of the African lion family, our servants and art craftsmen who were willing to follow us, over 300 medical technicians and their families, and more than 800 humans and orcs who voluntarily came to us. A total of just under 2,000 people boarded the Arkansas. There are just over 1,000 people. Even if they never went out again, they could live on the Ark for several generations. The second day after boarding the Ark, the apocalypse brought extreme heat, for the temperature suddenly climbed to 50 degrees. First, trees and plants were scorched. The ground became a huge frying pan, and countless people fell onto the streets like fried eggs, dehydrating and dying. The rich are busy building air-conditioned houses to last a little longer, but the rising temperatures that continue to climb have not given them that opportunity. The power system is collapsing across the board, and even the rich can't find anyone to fix it. I stay in the Ark. The cooling system has started to operate, and everywhere in the Ark is kept at 25 degrees. I am eating freshly cultivated sweet and refreshing watermelons while watching the news outside. Years ago I traded thousands of sets of seaside villas for space satellites with African lion people to live stream events happening around the Earth. Seeing the tragic scene outside, I am heartbroken, yet I have no method to change it. I cannot save everyone. I can only do my best to preserve the lives currently on my ship. Yan Lai appeared from behind and hugged me. He revealed his true form, his fluffy head constantly rubbing against me. I soothingly scratched him. and Yen Lai returned to human form and pinned me down. If Yen Lai hadn't supported me back then, perhaps I wouldn't have built such a large ark. I would have taken just a small amount of money and built a place where I could shelter myself. It was fierce fire, and it saved the lives of more than 1,000 people. Big sister suddenly called at this moment. Like wood. I heard that where you are it's already very hot. So hot it's killing people. Haha. Look at me and my parents. Here it's only 20 degrees now. Just pleasantly cool. Wealth and heat, so what? In the end of the world, money can't buy life. I see my sister and mom and dad all eating compressed biscuits and drinking Coca-Cola. And when I look back at the high-end feast the chef in the ark has prepared, I nod. Indeed, money cannot buy life. Fortunately, I bought myself a chance to survive with money in advance. Sis, how did you get that bruise on your face? Cold brother-in-law is so poor. Could he really be abusive? My sister winces with pain from where I stabbed her and speaks up. Humph. Don't think you becoming a queen of the Lion People's clan will defy fate. Don't think you're still in the air-conditioned room now. You'll be carefree forever. In a while, Africa will be a furnace of the world. Blazing diamonds won't buy you a single ice cube. The big iron tin house you live in, once the power is gone, it's basically a big steam room. Haha. Mom and dad saw us on video and leaned in to speak to me too. Now it's the top of a heatwave apocalypse. What if you marry a rich husband? You still won't have your sister choose a husband. You might as well be exposed and dead outside. Yen Lai opened his mouth. It's not your business how Mumu is doing. I will safeguard Mumu with my life. Hearing these words, elder sister's gaze suddenly dimmed. She probably recalled how Yen Lai protected her in the last life as well. Then her gaze grew firm again. What good is pampering my husband? In the apocalypse, the most important thing is to stay alive. Like wood. You can't possibly live better than me. I'll wait for you to come begging me, while you're not yet roasted to death. Haha. The temperature indeed kept rising, and outside there were almost no living people left. The sister and Lung Han's home in the Arctic had become the last sanctuary in everyone's mind. All the living people rushed toward the Arctic. But soon, the glaciers melted. I lean on satellite monitoring to observe everything outside. The sea level has risen, and the coastal cities have all been submerged. The flood quickly spread to the African continent, and amid everyone's cheers, the Ark, long stranded and mocked by the world, finally set sail smoothly. Outside, the wind and waves are rough, but I sleep peacefully in the steady Ark during a midday nap. The temperature inside the Ark was a little too cold, and Yen Lai transformed into the lion's main body, hugging me as if covered with an air-conditioned quilt. Just right. When having dinner, I tuned the satellite signal to the Arctic where my sister and the others are. The Arctic where my sister and the others live is the first to be hit. Now it has become an ocean, and the supplies they had painstakingly stockpiled have all been swept away by the waves. Now they have nothing left. Cold Han, as the Arctic bear orc, can swim in water when returning to his true form, but my sister and our parents can only float on a piece of wood. Soon, they couldn't hold on any longer. The three of them were quite heavy, and if they wanted to keep floating, one of them would have to give up this piece of wood. Dad spoke first. Old partner, you're getting old. You're weak and can't fish. So you should take the initiative to let go. You're alive and we still have to support you. You're just dragging us down. My mom cried after hearing this. Old man, how can you be so heartless? When I married you, you said you would take care of me for a lifetime. My dad has had enough of waiting. Back then was back then. Now is now. In the end of the world, can you compare it to the past? Just go ahead and die willingly, or I'll push you myself. My mom looked at my sister for help. Ruju, from when we were little, I raised you with my own hands. I fed you premium milk powder, gave Ruma rice soup. You could attend a high-ranking kindergarten, and only when Ruma reached the right age did you start primary school. Now you're grown up. It's time to repay mom. You should persuade your dad not to push me off. But my sister actually fell silent. Mom got anxious and kept talking about how good she had been to my sister. When you were little and wanted to go to the amusement park, you still had a fever. To make you happy, I left her alone at home and went out to have fun with you. And there were the two of you taking entrance exams for college. You failed, but Ru got into a key university. I locked her at home to stay with you for retaking. The next year I only paid for your tuition and ignored her. Have you forgotten? Sister lifted her head and looked coldly at Mom. Mom, I want to live. Since you love me so much, you should give up your life now to let me continue to live. My mom froze, tears hanging on her face, as if they wouldn't fall, which looked particularly ridiculous. She couldn't believe that the daughter she had spoiled since childhood could be so selfish, even taking her life. My mom cried silently, and she suddenly brought up my name. If it were Rumu, she would surely rather jump herself than ask me to jump. My heart is calm, but now you remind me of myself? My sister probably has this selfish character now, and it's inextricably linked to my mom's indulgence and escape. My dad urged her. Jump quickly. If that dead girl Rumu is still alive, what use is your saying? I would be the first to throw her away. She's already cooked to death. Without her, it will be your turn. After hearing this, my mom finally gave up. She slowly loosened her grip and called out, Rumu, letting herself drift down. Only my dad and my sister are left on the wooden raft now. I don't want to keep watching the surveillance any longer. Turning around, I hugged Yenlai. If one day the two of us are on the same plank, will you let me jump first? Yenlai hugged me even tighter. If there comes a day, I will risk my life to protect you completely. I believe him. 6-hour arc keeps drifting, and the wedding that Yenlai and I had delayed for so long has finally taken place. Yenlai said, when I first married into Africa and focused on infrastructure, he thought I didn't like him and never dared to bring it up. I can only explain that the time at that moment was too tight. Everyone on the ark, humans and orcs alike, participated in our wedding. Some played instruments, some danced, some were skilled in floral design, and the ark was arranged beautifully and vibrantly, full of life. When I thought again about the situation of my elder sister's family, I discovered that they had actually reached a small boat, but the boat was full of blood. I pulled up the history in the satellite monitoring to see what happened. As it turned out, while my sister and the others were drifting, many small boats passed by, and most of the boats wouldn't allow them to approach. When my sister and dad were about to be exhausted, a small boat passed by carrying an elderly couple. Seeing my sister and the others were pitiful, they let them board. After my sister and dad boarded, they coordinated with the cold darkness lurking beneath the water and cruelly killed the kind elderly couple, taking over the boat. My dad lay on the boat, muttering with a gloating mouth. If I'd known we could seize the boat, I wouldn't have thrown your mom overboard just now. Sister didn't seem moved. Useless people will be thrown overboard sooner or later. It's just a matter of sooner or later. Dad fell silent after that. Ling Han suggested, now the temperature is high. The fish in the water are all dead from heat. There's no food. Let that couple stay with us to stockpile as reserve rations. Dad seems to have wanted to appear more useful, so he took matters into his own hands and dismembered the body. I threw up immediately. Yenlai rushed to bring the newly cultivated Yenhua, Yangmei, on the ark to me to relieve my greasiness. I skipped the part where they eat the old couple alive and kept watching, as their small boat continued to drift. After a month had passed, the three of them finally finished off the old couple. They were once again faced with a food shortage crisis. This time, the sister set her sights on Dad. Dad's pleading face wasn't any more dignified than Mom's. He grabbed his sister's hand and pointed at Ling Han. I am your real father. How can you team up with outsiders and betray your own father? Our father-daughter bond is the only family we have. If we join forces, we can kill Ling Han. How about that? Ling Han was sharpening a knife on the side, not at all worried that his sister would actually listen to their father. Sure enough. His sister frowned. Dad, don't fantasize. Ling Han is an orc. Survival is always easier for him than for humans. If he can take me to survive in the post-apocalypse, there is no comparison between you and him. Hurry up and kill me yourself. I don't want to kill you with my own hands. My dad was stunned. It was as if he was meeting his eldest daughter for the first time. Ruju, how could you? When you were sick, your father didn't hesitate to give up his job to come back and be with you. In those years our family was hard up. I even had Rumu go out to collect garbage to make ends meet. The money from that bought the toys you liked. You can't forget your father's kindness. Sister couldn't bear it any longer and urged Ling Han to take action quickly. My dad slammed his sister with a slap, disbelief written all over his face. Wayward daughter. How dare you treat your father like this? I used to treat you like a treasure, never willing to hit you even when you made mistakes. I always had Rumu kneel to take punishment for you. And you. My father's words stopped there, and my older sister, holding the freshly sharpened knife, stabbed into my father's stomach. My father's face showed shock, and he groped for words to say, "You actually dare. It's my fault. For spoiling you since you were little. For pampering you too much. If back then if Yurumi had married the polar bear, surely they wouldn't have killed me. It's me who killed my most filial daughter by giving all my love to a white-lipped wolf like you. Don't you want to eat my flesh? I won't let you have your wish. Old partner, I've come to you." After speaking, he plunged into the water. 7 Watching my parents jump into the water in succession to end their lives, I closed the surveillance with a heavy heart. This lifetime is the same. My sister thinks that snatching my orc husband will, but she completely forgets that a good life can be created by oneself, not by plundering others. Mom and Dad indulged sister again and finally tasted the bitter fruit. The humans and orcs sheltered in the Ark are all bona fide good people. They live in unity, help each other, intermarry, and in just a few months several wonderful couples have already formed. And I, as witnesses of the marriage, attended their mass wedding. I suddenly vomited, and after a medical examination the specialist excitedly said, "Madam is pregnant. The first new life of our Ark is on the way." Everyone was very happy. As long as there is a new life on the Ark, we will be a vessel of hope. When my child was completely settled at 3 months, I looked again at my sister's movements. Coincidentally, sister was also pregnant. Looking back at the history, I found that after my father jumped into the sea, Ling Han aimed the knife at my sister directly. The frightened look on my sister's face was very similar to that of my mom and dad. "Don't kill me. I'm useful. I can be as bait to lure prey for you." Big sister has been pretending to be a wounded human behind the scenes, attracting empathetic people to come to help. Then Cold Xian would strike, using good-hearted people as food. As more and more of these things happened, gradually no one dared to keep kindness, and it looked like sister would no longer be able to scam for food. They encountered the Octopuskin's great ship. The octopus orc ship was not short of food or females. Langan immediately offered his sister as a sacrifice to stay on the ship as an exchange. Big sister was repeatedly assaulted by various orcs on the ship, and finally became pregnant. Cool and cold and strange sister-in-law gave him a big green hat, and he intends to abort the baby in his sister's belly. The big sister may have awakened the heart of being a parent, fiercely resisting for a while, taking a beating but insisting on keeping the child. Soon it would be my delivery day. Medical experts aboard the Ark, obstetric nurses, and many experienced people were all there to help me. Yan Lai gripped my hand tightly, his heart aching as he cried. I comforted him that I didn't feel any pain at all. The equipment on the Ark is top of the line, and the production process has been painlessly upgraded with the latest invention, keeping the person awake without any pain. The child was peacefully born, 4 adorable lion centaur boys and 1 beautiful human girl. Yenlai excitedly hugged the girl, saying the child looks as pretty as I am. Thinking back to what my parents once said about me being ugly, I asked him, "Don't you think I'm ugly?" Yenlai widened his eyes in disbelief. "You're so beautiful, and you're kind-hearted. If anyone says you're ugly, they don't deserve to be on the Arkansas." I patted Yenlai's fur. They really don't deserve to be on the Ark at all. With the help of a top therapist, my postpartum recovery was rapid. At my sister's place, she has already started giving birth. My elder sister is alone in a narrow, dirty, chaotic cabin, giving birth. She fainted from pain several times and woke again each time. She gave birth after a full day and night. But that lump of something seems not to be a child. That lump of flesh has octopus-like tentacles, fishman scales, and even a centaur-like tail. Ling Han immediately threw that lump into the kitchen, saying it was to make up for meals to replenish nutrition. My sister got furious. Just as she had killed me in the previous life, she pulled out a dagger and killed Ling Han, the man she had taken from me in this life. Then my sister jumped into the sea. I suddenly saw the appearance of my ark in the surveillance footage. Is my sister really this close to me? There are so many kind people on the ark that sometimes it's not a good thing. Someone found the drifting sister and pulled her up. Looking at the magnificent ark, my sister couldn't help but exclaim, "Is this a place where gods live?" The workers told her no. This is the ark of the African lion Beastman leader's wife. It only admits kind-hearted people, and she must undergo a benevolence test before entering. The sister was stunned, and kept repeating, "Impossible. They clearly only built one iron house. How could this be such a large ark?" African lion leader. African lion leader. I am the wife of the African lion leader. I should have married him. Let me in. I am his wife. The workers could not control the sister and asked me for help. I walked to the deck platform, holding Yen Lai's hand. Long time no see. Sister. Why aren't Daddy, Mommy, and brother-in-law here with you? A flash of spite crossed her sister's eyes. They, us. We were separated. Yes. We were separated in the flood. Like wood. I am your older sister. You must let me stay on the ark. My admission principle is to pass the goodwill test. My sister's hands have touched too much of everyone's blood, so she definitely wouldn't pass. So I wanted to hide the truth. I laughed. Sister, when you killed Mom and Dad, did you ever think about all these years they bled for you with heart and soul? Sister froze in fear. How would you know? I pointed to the ark. There's a satellite system here. Global events. As long as I want to see them, I can watch everything. Sister, you're too cruel to actually go through with it. At the stroke of midnight, doesn't your heart ache? My elder sister burst into loud laughter. This is all they should do. I am the darling of the family. You're just a rotten piece of wood. Mom and Dad must be good to me. What does giving up one's life matter? This is what they're supposed to do. Stubborn and willful. Obstinate. I shook my head and signaled the workers to throw her away. The elder sister panicked again, beginning to call out the name Yen Lai. Yen Lai. Save me. I am truly your wife. The person who should have married you in this life is me. Do you remember your past life? I am your wife. You love me. You love me as if my life depended on it. Take me in. I am much prettier than Moo Moo. I will serve you. Yen Lai looked at her with disdain. You ugly woman. Not even good for a fingernail compared to my Moo Moo. The sister looked at her reflection on the deck and clearly saw what she looked like now. In this life she wasn't disfigured by the intense heat, but years of wind, sun, and eating human flesh had already made her appearance utterly repugnant. I watched my sister collapse and whispered, "Do you still have the face to beg Yen Lai? In a past life, he sacrificed his life to save you. You were reborn. Turned your back on him without a second thought. So how dare you bring him up?" My sister looked at me in disbelief. So you also came back from the previous life. You knew all along that floods would come after the heat, didn't you? And you dared not tell me. My older sister wanted to come over and hit me, but a few sailors held her back with riot shields. You already killed me once in the past life. If I were to be a saintess again, wouldn't I be asking you to kill me again? This time, you have no chance. The blazing flame commanded someone to throw her sister off the ark to fend for herself. But the sister suddenly laughed. I know which orc husband to choose in the next life. Moo Moo, you wait for me. After finishing speaking, I jumped down myself. I spent my 90th birthday on board the ark with Yen Lai. As the climate finally returned to normal, the floods receded, and the ice caps were rebuilt. The only surviving life on Earth is the people on the ark and their descendants. Our great-great-grandsons have returned to the land. starting to rebuild their homeland. Fortunately, the Ark preserved the previous civilization and has even developed better. Later, Yenlai also asked me how I could be so prophetic, not only predicting the heat but also foreseeing the flood. I told him that I came from the previous life. Yenlai is very interested and asks me whether the two of us loved each other in a past life. I shook my head. With such a good Yenlai, it wasn't my turn in the last life. Not only did we not get married, but we both died tragically. The fierce flames reveal my sorrow, as it tenderly kisses my aging face. Moo moo, in this life and all the lives to come after, I will love you. Love only you. I smiled. Dwelling on the past is pointless. I've already decided in this lifetime that I am very happy.